game one, or I should say the first starting map, is predetermined here in the semifinals. Both the upper and lower semis will begin on Ultra Love. Let's go. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the blue Polish Protoss player representing Streamer Zone. It is Gerald. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss, the red Protoss himself. It is Zoun. We go. And as we settle into this, Zoun, he is known for his PvP, but so is Gerald. Gerald, he has a very unique form of PvP. If you've been watching his matches over the past, 6 months, if not a year, Gerald, he's very fond of skipping certain tech here, certain tech structures. I'm referring to, if he can get into the mid game, if he can get into a solid 3-base economy, then Gerald, he is one to typically, not always, but typically skip out on Archons and try to rush into Disruptors earlier than not into the late game. We've been casting so many of Gerald's late game PvP. When I say late game, I mean Disruptor Skytoss versus Disruptor Skytoss, especially in the lead up to the off season of EPT. We'll see if we can get there though against Zoun, as Zoun is usually a more aggressive player. For now, we have our initial 2-gate opener out of Gerald. Meanwhile, Zoun setting up on the low ground, going for his own gate into Cybercore, into Nexus. Let's go. Now, again, a lot of the Korean Protoss players have been embracing this. If you've been watching players like Trap, players like Classic, Hero, Zoun, Nightmare, I believe Hero did pioneer this in the EPT off-season, but basically, the Korean Protoss have been a lot more adoptive of the Max Packs opener. In saying that, though, this is more standard on Ultra Love because there's a ramp coming into the natural. Basically, because there's a ramp, and this is unique to Ultra Love, it's unique to Abyssal Reef as well, and some of these other maps that have ramps coming into the natural base, it means you can get away with more economic builds. It's going to be on Gerald to try to delay this. Pylon has been placed, and again, I'm a little bit surprised myself that Gerald did not go for his own low ground setup. 2-gate opener. Double Stalker. Interesting. So double Stalker opener here out of Gerald. He can follow this up with a 3rd and 4th Stalker. If this probe escapes, then he could even set up a proxy pylon across the map. How aggressive is Gerald going to be here? Zoun forces the 3rd and the 6th. Stargate before Nexus into an Oracle. So Zoun, his base is delayed. Oh, another pylon! Probe finally goes down, and finally Zoun can expand. Aye. He just wanted to take us natural. Pylon goes down. There's the Nexus. Zoun can finally take his natural base. And Gerald behind this. He is moving out. Double Stalker. Only 2 Stalkers behind this. There's no 3rd and 4th Stalker. He delays his 3rd and 4th units in favor of a Nexus himself. So his base isn't too far behind the base of Zoun. Stalkers poke in. Void Ray's on the way. And Zoun, he confirms that there is an expansion. With this knowledge, he might cancel the Void Ray. I don't know if you... actually, he has no Stalker on the way. So most likely we'll let it finish. Just the one. Just to defend. Across the map, Gerald, he does keep up. Does keep up with the Shade. Does shut it down. Gerald's going for his own take of choice, going for a Twilight Council opener into Blink. Zoun does shade away. So chat, Zoun did good in the Polish tournament. Yes, in the House Galactic Battle. True. Galactic Battle Champions. For those who do not know, Gerald, I do recommend tuning into the VODs. They're on YouTube, they're on Twitch. But Gerald, he made it all the way to the finals of the House Galactic Battle. He was able to bring down Spirit in the semifinals, which was a big win for Gerald. Took down Spirit, went toe-to-toe with a laser as well. Gerald, for the first time, I believe, in the history of the offline LAN events in Poland, did actually surpass Cristiano. Did surpass him when it comes to standings. You know, Stasis in behind the mineral line. Oh! Gerald, he responds in time, pulls away. Adept towards the natural, but only one Adept cannot one-shot probes. The Void Ray will find some damage. A very chaotic attack here from Zoun, attacking 3 places at once. And gets one pylon, depowers the gateways, and gets the hell out of there. Does pull back. Likewise, Adept does escape as well. Adept gets away. Void Ray going for another pylon. Shiki moves out of Zoun, won't get it. Is forced back. He's going to be forced back. Behind this, going into his own immortal production. Bearing in mind, because of the Stargate opener, typically, or it is very commonplace for the Protoss player to go into a robo from there, just because they're so far behind in Stalkers. The stasis! Oh my god. Catching 2. Not too bad. Does catch 2 workers. Zoun pulls away. And behind this immortal production, well underway as well. Building up more immortals. Orca races back. And with that, our players are getting secure. We see Gerald attempting to throw down his own proxy, but it does get found out. We'll see if he can hold on to it. Stalkers, I believe he has Blink. Yeah, Blink is done. That is Gerald's advantage, of course. He has a more mobile army. Throws down a second pylon, and he will save the proxy. Behind this, getting his own third. Again, Gerald, he has map control. That's the advantage of these Blink Stalkers, a much more mobile composition. And Zoun is stuck on 2 bases. Now, eventually, Zoun, he will break out. He has +1, charge, a third immortal on the way. He will break out, he will eventually expand, but until then, Gerald, his goal here is to try to delay that moment for as long as he can. To contain for as much as possible. Oracle hits the mineral line, gets 2 probes. And the Oracle's been slowly getting value over time. And getting there. That's 4 more gates on the way. This is turning into a 2-base all-in. Oh my god. Massively delayed 3rd base, and with the hallucination, Gerald, he should confirm this. As there are how many gates? 5, 6, 7 gates. Jesus. It's going to be a 2-base 7-gate all-in. Yeah, Prism's on the way to reinforce. And Zoun, he has no intention anymore of expanding. He may have at one point, but not anymore. Now, the way this is lined up here, I believe the Temple Archives should be finished. It was now done, and that means that Zoun, he can reinforce with Archons. First Archon has already arrived. Prism is here to juggle, to micro back. And Zoun should be pushing. The Verb is here to expand, so Zoun looks like he will be getting his 3rd. Based on the pylon, massive warp in. Never mind. Here we go. Zoun does break out, and back in what does Gerald have to defend? He has 1 shield battery, soon to be 2. 2 shield batteries. Gateway explosion. Does have how many Stalkers? 14. That's still 3 immortals though. And more Archons on the way. Again, it is a terrifying army. And Zoun is still choosing not to expand. He's still warping in. He still just commits. Yeah, he's just going to be committing here. Does have the upgrade lead, but +1 is finishing up in 5 seconds here for Gerald. Going for the mass hallucinations. Yo, no, that's the stasis. Stasis pops off. Oh no, once again, double stasis here. Gerald, he gets completely caught out. And with that, Zoun, he gets snowball out of control. He can just break through the main army, push into the bases. There's almost nothing left. Ay, ay, ay. Brutal stasis traps. Papi. Zoun looks like he's waiting. He's waiting for the stasis to run out. He wants to just try to catch the army. Shuts him down. Yeah, the Stalkers, they crumble. And Zoun, he has done it. He's broken through. Unfortunately, Gochi just wasn't aware of the stasis traps themselves. And with that, he lost everything. And Gerald, he's down to a handful of Stalkers. And nothing really else behind this. And again, Zoun never expanded. GG gets called, and Zoun takes game number 1. GG. Again, he had at one point he had the option to expand, but last he was contained on 2 bases, threw down extra gateways. It was a 7-gate 2-base all-in with, what was it, 3 immortals, a handful of Archons as well, was reinforcing with even more Archons. Hit with +1, just snowballed out of control. And unfortunately, Gerald, he just wasn't able to really slow down the army, and it was just a brutal engagement as well to be caught by 2 stasis traps back-to-back while trying to dive in. And with that, our red Protoss takes the lead. And now spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have our red Protoss player. We have our South Korean Protoss. It is Zoun. One game away from advancing onto the grand finals, and spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the Polish Protoss player, the blue Protoss representing Streamer Zone, down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back and force the ace match. It is Gerald. Here we go. Now, this time there is no ramp coming into the natural. This is Gerald's map of choice, of course, and this time we should not be seeing economic openers from either player. We should be seeing 2 gate openers from Gerald and from Zoun as well. Something a lot more standard. As we do have our probe scouts, do have Gerald opening up 2 gates, and Zoun, hello, going for a gate into Nexus. Oh no, not quite, gate into Cybercore. Regardless, Zoun going to be opening up with a max packs opener. Bold move. Bold move to open up in such a way, even on a map where it is unsafe to do it on. And again, as I was trying to allude to previously at the start of Game 1, this is something that the Korean Protoss players have been embracing more and more often. Not too certain what it is exactly, but in the latest patch of StarCraft, they have been more willing to embrace this, whereas otherwise they were not. Whereas previously it was only max packs, going for these more economic builds. Now it has become a lot more mainstream. At least amongst the Korean Protosses. And now the pressure's on Gerald to try to punish this greed, or delay it. So far throwing down pylons does force out the Zealots. Once again going to be a Stargate opener out of Zoun. Let's go to throw down another pylon. Another pylon. Setting up for his own expansion. Gerald once again 2 gate opener into 2 stalkers into delayed 3rd and 4th units into a faster Nexus. Most likely is what we saw last game out of Gerald. We could see it here again. There's Nexus for Zoun, and Gerald not too far behind. So both players expanding. Zoun, he has hidden his probe towards the south, but this might just be to go for a rescout to confirm whether or not Gerald is expanding. For all Zoun knows, there could be a 1-base all-in coming his way, so Zoun has to confirm. Zoun dips in. Meanwhile, we have to take a choice. Once again, Stargate opener into Robo, into Immortal production. So we saw this previously by Zoun in Game 1. It is the exact same build so far as Zoun in Game 2. Same build so far. Meanwhile, Gerald also going into Twilight Council into Blink Stalkers. So just like the previous game, Zoun is going to be contained. He's going to be contained on 2 bases. He's going to build up an Immortal count. He's going to be stuck here as Gerald gains map control. And this could once again turn into a 2-base all-in, or Zoun could break out earlier and actually expand and take a 3rd. It's possible. But now the things are looking very similar. The deja vu is real. I've seen this before. Oh no. Not again, Pappy, not again. Ooh, this time though, that is a Twilight Council before Forge. Which means that Gerald, he might be able to rush into... Sorry, Zoun might be able to rush into Blink himself a little bit earlier. Okay. Which means he can be active earlier as well. Meanwhile, there's the early Immortal production. Immortal's on the way. Still building up. Likewise, just waiting for Blink before he moves out. Until then, it's going to be on Gerald to keep up with the aura. keep up to defend. It's a 2-base all-in. It's going to be Glaive Adepts. Now, Glaives do not scale well into a longer game. They do not scale well into a longer game setup. Aye. Hallucination is checking for an expansion. We, of course, know there is none. There's 2 more gateways and Immortal Production behind this. Glaives, they actually do a great job when it comes to trying to pull apart a defending player, because obviously they can shade behind the army, they can threaten a shade into the main, and they force the defending player to, of course, split up and to try to keep up with the movement of the aggressing player. Likewise, they actually trade quite well against Zealots. So Gerald, if he goes Stalker Zealot, which he is, then, I mean, Adepts, they have their role, they have their place. It's going to be Adepts against Zealots and the Immortals against the Stalkers. And of course, with the Glaives, with Shades, you have the potential to dive on an army as well. And yeah, there's just no expansion. There's no expansion. Gerald can try to dive into the main, though. Hallucination's on the way. And can he depower some of the production? Can he catch out the Warp Prism? Blinks in, going for the Robo. Can he snipe it? Up! Couple more volleys. It's getting low. Not quite. Immortal does pull away. The Immortal survives. And the River does survive as well. He holds. Zoun does hold. As God, he rotates down to low ground, going for the pylon. Pylon is going to be shut down. Depowers the gateway. Depowers the forge. And Zoun, he's had enough. he's had enough. And he's going to get caught out. Gerald, he can catch some of these reinforcements. Yeah, very nice pickoffs. Adept does fall. Zoun trying to be active, but it's a messy move out here from the Red Protoss. Trying to keep up. Does try to keep up. Prism has arrived, warping in 5 Adepts at a time. These Stalkers are hoping to catch an Immortal. Adepts, they get scouted, and Gerald is being very proactive. Takes out another Adept. Meanwhile, Zoun is trying to commit. Plenty of force fields. Stalkers, they come in from behind. They could try to snipe the Prism. Or even the Immortal. Can go with the attempted surround. So far, Zoun keeps up. For the force to spend force fields. And so he rotates. Up. Takes down the Oracle. Barely does avoid the stasis. Let's go. Not again. Not this time. Oh, Alassi gets caught elsewhere. Only 3 Stalkers. Could have been so much worse. And again, still no expansion. It's just 2-base all-in. Just 2-base all-in here by Zoun. Off of a 7-gate setup. Catching up the army. Nice force fields. Adepts say threaten a shade. But Zoun does pull back. Does cancel. We can see Gerald getting ready for a counterattack to try to snipe that Warp Prism. But there are just so many Stalkers, and again, the longer this game goes on, the better it is for Gerald. Snipes 2 of those sentries. 2 sentries go down. Zoun is running out of steam. He's trying to force his way in. The Immortals, they do a lot in the back line. Once again, though, the force fields, they push him back. Zoun just cannot engage. He's gonna try to, though. Shades pass, we dive on the army, the Immortals are exposed, he gets 1, he gets 2, he gets 3, the Prism's too far behind. And with that, Gerald, he will completely shut this down. And we're looking to force the ace match. Yeah, the all-in will fail. Adepts, they shade into the main, then get some probe kills. But he needs more than that. His probes are going down. Adepts shading into the mineral lines. Getting 8 probes. It's something. But it's still not enough. Not enough, Happy, not enough. And here we go. Gerald, he breaks free. GG gets called. That's all that Zoun had left. And Gerald, he will tie up the series. We are going all the way to game number 3. GG. Let's go. We are going all the way to the ace match. And we'll see how the story ends, as this is going to be Zoun's map of choice. And oh my god, we're going to be loading into El Dorado. One of the more quirky maps of the map pool. Curious. We'll see what his plan is going to be coming into this. as we load in. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of El Dorado, we have the Polish Protoss player, the blue Protoss, representing Streamer Zone, tying up the series and forcing the ace match. It is Gerald. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Protoss player, also from South Korea. It is Zoun. He has gone for an all-in. He's gone for an all-in every game so far. 2-base all-in game 1, 2-base all-in game 2, 2-base all-in game 3, potentially. As we open up with an economic opener. Gate into Cybercore into expansion here. And Gerald's once again setting up on the high ground. Oh my god. Very interesting. Down to scouts. Again, 2-gate opener out of Gerald. Likewise, Gerald is once again in position here to deny the expansion. So we should see the same dynamic here, where Gerald, he delays the Nexus with pylon blocks, he forces out the Zealot, he forces out the Cybercore and the Stargate before expansion, and Gerald opens up Blink Stalker. And then Zoun follows it up with a Robo. Like, it's... Now, whether or not that Robo leads into an all-in, that's what I'm most curious by, right? Game 1, we saw a Charged Archon Immortal all-in on 2 bases. Game 2, we saw Immortal Adept on 2 bases. Game 3, do we macro? Do we expand? Do we get a third? Does it finally happen? Maybe. We'll see. We shall see. As there's a Stargate. Again, before expanding. Gerald, he should be opening up double Stalker into his own Nexus to catch up. There's another pylon block. Let's go. Delaying even further. Probe checks the main. Gets eyes on the pylon locations. Make sure there's nothing crazy going on. There's another pylon block as well. Probe finally goes down. And finally, we can expand. Zoun can get his natural. Likewise, so can Gerald. As both players do move down. Nexus on the way. Nexus also on the way. Okay. So again, so far the openers have played out the exact same every single game. It's been the same setup. There's that Twilight Council into Blink Stalkers from Gerald. And we're waiting for the Robo from Zoun. As the Oracle's on the way. Do have a little skirmish between the first couple of units. Gerald does recall back home. Does preserve his army. And yep, there's the Robo. There is that Robo follow-up for early Immortal production. And again, Zoun doesn't have to all in with this. He can just build up to like 3 Immortals and then expand and get a later third. And then go for like a 3-base push. Like Hero does that very often. But we'll see. As Zoun is built up to 2 Oracles. Likewise pushing towards the top side as well. Hoping to distract his opponent. Zoun does poke in. He shouldn't react with these units. Yeah, Gerald, there we go. He still holds his ground. Basically a skill check here that Zoun's attempting. But Gerald, he's got the skill. He defends. Alright, how many gateways? How many gateways down? What are we going for? Do we go for another Forge? Another Twilight Council? More gateways? Oh! Okay, going for further tech. Here we go. Twilight Council into Forge. So Zoun is going to be staying on 2 bases that much longer. Gerald is taking a much faster third. So Gerald will have the better economy. We'll have a much better economy. Zoun will have the better upgrades. And there it is. I mean, it makes sense. We're on El Dorado, and Gerald, he did not mind through those patches on the south side. Zoun expands. For the first time this series, we have a third base. It's not an all-in. Let's go. Meanwhile, we can see Gerald already heading in that direction. He does see this. He wants to punish this. We'll see if he can. Of course, they hit the natural. They distract the Stalkers. 5 probes going down. 1 Oracle does fall. Nice pickup. Oracle goes down. Gerald, he will rotate over towards the south side. And what is it to defend? 1 Immortal, 2 Sentries, an Adept, and a Shield Battery. It's the bare minimum. Oh, the Stasis as well. True. Who's Nation? I'm sure Gerald saw that. There we go. He baits out the Stasis, dives on the real Immortal as well. Shield Battery's not ready, and Gerald, he's doubling out control. He takes out the Immortal, takes out the Sentries. Zoun, he is in trouble. He is hurting. Same time, Adept Parasia towards the natural. Gerald poking in. Catching out more units. Gerald, he will retreat. Will back off. But so far, good pickups. Very nice trades. Killing workers. The Immortal. Sentries. Behind us getting to +1 in charge. Oh. Oh, as he does run into a stasis. Not like this. Not again. Not again. Okay, thankfully this time it won't be punished anywhere near as hard. Thankfully this time he's not aggressing on Zoun, and there's not like a crazy surround being set up. Gerald pulls away. Ren's a dive. Going for the Cybercore. Oof. 1 Stalker goes down. Gerald is holding. Catching more probes across the map. Zoun is holding even. Probes across the map, and Gerald, he will take the 4th. Let's go for the linear 4th base. He was mining through those patches, so I assumed he was gonna go for the gold, but alas, not gonna happen. Ooh, as once again, Gerald, he attempts to snipe that Cybercore, unable to. Goes kite away with the Zealots. Decent trades. Still has to respect the army. Now from here we're taking up Temple Archives on the way. Gerald, he's not rushing into Disruptors. He's going to Archons. Let's go. Standard follow-up. Zoun isn't there yet. Zoun going for the center gold. Bold move. He's rushing into the gold base. We'll see if he can hold on to it. As Gerald, he gets eyes on it. He rotates. He responds. He gets spotted. Zoun, can he save it? No, shot. He's too far out of position. And the expansion, it's going to be denied. Again, it was quite ambitious here from Zoun. But Gerald does not let him get it up and running. Now, what's important here is that this entire time, look at the Immortal counts. 4 Immortals already. This is a hefty army. He's got 4 Immortals, building up Archons as well. Or just Immortal. Yeah, Archon Chargelet. This army still has a lot of potential. Gerald trying to keep up. Oh. Try to maintain control here over the ramp, or over the mineral wall. Getting a couple of Zealots. Can't quite push in. I mean, neither player can. Stuck on the opposite sides. And both players are building up. Now, in head-on fights, I do actually favor Zoun's army. The reason for this is because it's a little bit more high-tech. There's a little more Archons, a little more Immortals. Geralt is very much so very gateway-centric. That's a lot of Zealots. And the reality is that all those Zealots, they could just be dead supply if they run into Archons, if they have a really rough engage. They won't last long. Up. Sandy shuts down the War Prism. Geralt baiting at the stasis traps. Baiting one and taking the other to the face. Now keeping up. Nice force field. And Geralt, has he been skipping some warp-ins here? But now he's taking up Robo into a bait. That's going to be for disruptors, but he needs more time. And Zoun is pushing here and now. He's not giving him that time. Recollapsing in. Geralt has one Immortal. He's got 3 Archons. Denies the expansion. Zoun can keep pushing. Peels off a couple of Zealots. West pushing through the center, trying to wedge his way in between the bases. The Archons, they do get a lot of volley stuff. Zealots are going to be melting on both sides. Still more Zealots on the way. Zoun pushing his way in towards that natural, trying to take over the ramp. Archon goes down. There's still 3 Archons left, and the Zealots, they melt. The Zealots, they just fall over. Zoun is breaking through. Again, just so much of the army supply for Geralt was just in a very cheap army. And purely Zealots. And it just melts. Meanwhile, Zoun, what does he have? He has the Immortals. Yeah, the Immortals are still very much up and running. They can shut down the Archons. And that's still 4 Immortals. And he breaks through. Takes down the Temple Archives. Robo. He has the high ground as well. And Zoun is just snowballing out of control. Just breaks through the defensive line, busts into the mineral line as well, and there's just almost nothing left here for Geralt. Just trying to fight up into his own natural base. +3 is almost done, but it doesn't matter. GG gets called as Zoun, he takes over the rim, takes over the natural, and Zoun will take game number 3 in the series, 2-1. GG. Ooh, GG, well played. Congratulations, Zoun. He will claim the series, will advance on into the grand finals. We have our first finalist. It is going to be Zoun. The question becomes, though, who will face off against Zoun in those grand finals?